welcome you back to the Student Section, a podcast for student athletes and with student athletes. To my left, we welcome co-host Tyler Stimler. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Alongside men's soccer, finally on the show, it's Marques and Arion Ulaj. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us. Here.
Thank you.
Tyler, I mean, you know these guys very well.
Yes, I know these guys very well. Ever since freshman year, I've been next-door neighbors with the soccer guys, and then sophomore year moved in with them. Junior year moved in with them again, and senior year I'm still with them. So very familiar with these guys coming over to our house a lot.
So this guy's been a little bit of a bug to you, right?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
A little bit of a bug.
It's usually them that are coming over to our house, but to watch NBA games and things like that. But yeah.
This was a very impressive season for you. Right now, we're in the semi-off season. You just finished up spring ball. How did the spring ball season go before we dive into the actual true season this past fall?
No, the spring it went really well for us. We went undefeated. We won all of our games, and it was way better than last year. I mean, last year, obviously, we didn't do too well in the spring, but this year, I mean, winning in the spring, obviously, like, fast forwards like how you'll do in the fall. So obviously, you want to take this seriously, even though it doesn't get recorded or anything. We have a foundation here. And we want to, like, keep it going for the fall when the new guys come in. So we want to just obviously keep improving and just get better day in and day out. So really happy with how it went.
Yeah, and just going into the summer, you just want to end off strong. So those 5 wins, we just kept moving on. We kept playing well with each other, and we just finished off strong. The season obviously didn't end the way we wanted to, but getting those 5 results maybe will lead to better things next season.
You said it didn't end the way that you wanted to, but you made the playoffs. You got into the second round. It was a very impressive regular season. There were some highs and there were some lows, but it did feel like at times you guys were meshing really well with each other. What would you categorize this season, this past fall as?
I mean, I feel like it was just like we just grew so much in the fall. I mean, obviously, we took some really bad losses early on. We went to Wisconsin, Marquette, Cornell, and then after that, I feel like we found ourselves. We were able to just keep growing, and then as time went on, we started really, like, finding our heads, finding our feet, everything. So towards the end, I mean, things started picking up, and then a heartbreak at Iona, but it's a next step. So last year, or two years ago, we lost in the quarterfinal. This year we lost in the semifinal. Next year.
Yeah, next year
we'll
win
in the final.
We'll get closer there. I just want to ask you guys about, you guys have a lot of losses on the team. We've lost a lot of good players, like Andrea. We lost Joe. I mean, a lot of good talent has left. I mean, what do you guys think that's going to do for you next season when you don't have these solid players that were still with us?
Yeah, I feel kind of like we obviously are really still young. We have a lot of players coming back, even though we've lost a couple. So I think we just grow with those players. We actually had a good season with most of the players who started. They were also really young. So beside the couple of losses that we had, our whole team's still back more or less. And, yeah, we could just carry on from there.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna miss those guys a lot. They did a lot for us. But then also at the end of the day, we're bringing in a lot of new talent in the fall. We're keeping basically the entire group the same, besides like two guys. So we have our core right here. We're bringing in new guys, so it should be really good.
You had a season that you're going to want to move forward, right? But it all starts on the training end. Right now, you're in kind of training season. What does that look like right now after spring ball, after fall ball? Is this kind of a lull right now, or are you trying to strengthen yourself?
Yeah, right now we're obviously just getting done with the season, and school's about to end, so guys are going to go home. But the work won't stop, obviously. A lot of guys actually in the summer play for like third division American teams to obviously just stay fit, keep the legs moving. You don't want to just sit around the entire summer, because then you come in for the fall and, it'll show. If you're just sitting down, you can't run, you'll get cooked.
I believe there's the Kingston Stockade.
Yeah.
I know a lot of players.
Yeah, we just played against them. So most players from Marist usually go there. Some guys go home, play with like a local team, but just staying sharp over the summer Just
Yeah.
making sure you're doing your fitness and all that.
We should talk about that Stockade game because I believe I saw Richard Morel get onto the bench of Stockade and start
True.
during their game against you guys after he played
True.
for you guys.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was
'Cause
pretty funny.
I saw him get sent to the ground, but I think it was you.
Oh yeah, he's obviously on our team, but in the summer he plays there. So just guess whatever minutes he can get,
Yeah.
he'll just go with whatever.
Yeah, it was funny actually because we play together so much, and then it's just like, damn, now I'm playing against this guy.
Yeah.
So, but still, you got to put him on his butt sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably felt pretty good to put him in his place for once.
Yeah.
When soccer isn't the forefront of your mind, which I assume it is usually up there, during the off season, during the summer, what are some of your personal interests?
Well, for me, I usually go down the shore. I have a shore house, and I go on vacation with my family, hang out with my friends. But I'm also playing Cedar Stars Rush. It's a semi-pro team back home. So yeah, just staying focused. I work during the summer too, do a little bit of that, and just staying sharp, just having a good time with my family, friends. Spend a lot of time there because I'm not back home usually during the season or during the school year.
Yeah, for me, every summer we'll go see my family in Albania, so I'll maybe be going there for a while. And I have a team over there too, so I'll be playing over there. I'll be staying fit and stuff. But yeah, basically it.
Albania. So I assume you're a direct Albanian.
Yes, I am. Both my parents are from Albania. I have Albanian citizenship.
Okay. So is this a big part of your life?
Yeah,
Yes.
huge part. Yep, Albania.
This is
Ty knows.
from personal experience. This is a very big part of his life.
From personal experience, now you got me curious. Does this mean food? Does this
Well-
mean language? Does
Well,
this mean other things?
it's a lot. So I live with there's 3 Albanians on the team. Well, is Jokai an Albanian too?
Yeah,
Okay, well,
4.
we got 4
That's
Albanians.
a lot of that's a lot
So there's
of
4
Yeah.
Albanians on the team. If you guys did not know that, we have Arion, we have Drenny Adrizi, Albion Bakash, who's my housemate, and then we have Sam Jokai. And living with Albie since sophomore year, I've gotten to try some pretty good food from what was it, Dugajin?
Yeah,
Dugajin, very good stuff. It's kind of like a little, was it pizza kind of? Or
Yeah, it's
like
it's kind of like a doughy
Yeah,
type
it's
of pie kind of.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
really good.
when we were eating that, we were listening to some classic Albanian music. Some
Loves
Danjani-
Albanian music.
Some Danjani.
Is
and-
that music prevalent in the pre-games at all? Is that a hype song that you guys put on
It
before games?
is. It is. We go crazy when we put on some hard Albanian rap. I know Stimmy likes that.
Oh, of course.
We'll get the flags out.
That brings up another question that I've always wanted the answer to. Who has the aux in the locker room when you guys are getting ready to play?
Usually it's either him,
Wow.
get Zuzu on there a
Yeah,
couple
Zuzu on
times,
it.
Yeah, that's
Bets
terrible.
in the fall.
That's
Crazy
yeah,
Ox.
Stevie B.
Yeah.
maybe some Arbor.
Arbor.
Oh.
DJ Arbor. Never can go
Another
wrong.
one of my housemates. Definitely don't want to see him on the aux.
What's coach's reaction? You guys seem like a very lively bunch. What's coach's reaction to you guys?
Yeah.
I would assume it's pretty positive, but there
Yeah,
must be some
they
times where this
usually during-
Albanian rap goes too far.
Before the games, they usually just let us do what we need to, just get
Yeah.
ready for it. They know we're prepared already, so just a couple minutes before the game, we have a little chat with him. But music-wise, we just vibe and just chill.
Yeah, he just says whatever you need to do to get ready for the game.
You get ready for the game, and you're in a mindset. When you were in high school and when you were in middle school even, I assumed you were still pretty locked in, but there was probably a switch where you realized, hey, I'm going to go D1. When did that kind of occur?
For me, I feel like I had that goal since I was, I don't even know, maybe when I started looking at I want to be D1, probably middle school. Middle
Wow.
school, that's when I locked in.
It's early.
I locked in pretty early, and then obviously I just kept going, didn't stop, and now I'm here.
Yeah, for me, kind of the beginning of high school. I was at Red Bull my entire high school career, so I was never really in school that much towards the end of the year. Especially, I was missing a lot of games and tournaments, and I knew that all this work had to pay off. So, I was thinking about that the whole time, and I was just staying locked in. Especially with Red Bull, you can't take days off, you can't take breaks. You just got to go 100%.
Talk a little bit about, for those who don't know, the tiers of Red Bull and how that works.
Yeah, so that's a professional team for the MLS, so Major League Soccer. They're actually one of the better teams in Major League Soccer, and they just have an academy with a bunch of kids. Everything is paid for. There's free cleats, all that. All travel is taken care of, so it's kind of just basically a professional without the contract.
It's part of the MLS Next
Yeah.
program?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like a lot of players in the MAAC are a part of that MLS Next
Yeah,
program
yeah.
across
most
the
are,
entire
yeah, for
conference.
sure.
Yeah.
There's always, on the bylines, that's where
Yeah.
these players come from. And then you're participating in that, you're locked in mentally. When are you saying, hey, this is where I want to be? I want to be at Marist.
Yeah, so I had a lot of conversations with different coaches, and it was just when I came visit here, obviously the campus is beautiful. The coaches really brought you in as, like, they really cared about you. They really want to have a one-on-one personal connection with you, and that just stuck with me the entire time making my decision throughout the college process.
Yeah, likewise. For me, I mean, the coaches like really showed like support. They would always, even when I was playing at PDA, which is like another MLS Next team in New Jersey, even after I committed, they would still come to like all my games and stuff, and we always like kept a strong connection. So, and they basically made it feel like home before I came.
Ty, I think we need a button right here, like, that says every time an athlete says the campus is beautiful. Because it's so true. Everybody's
Yeah.
first words of "I want to go to Marist" is
Yeah.
always the campus is so beautiful. I think that's kind of a testament, especially during fall season when you're playing
course,
behind
yeah, the
beautiful
environment.
foliage. It's absolutely beautiful from
Yeah.
the stands.
You'll go to some colleges and you'll kind of see they're not the best environments. It's kind of away from the campus, but here everything's really close. Obviously, the kids can walk a couple minutes away, watch the games. It's just a good environment to
Yeah.
have.
I mean, during the last year or last semester, maybe there was a game that there was like fireworks going on at the end after you guys won. I forget what that was for, like the block party or something. But like I saw that on Instagram and I was like, wow.
Wait, was it this past season or 2 seasons?
I think it was this season, or I think it was.
I'm pretty sure it
But,
was as well.
but
It was
yeah,
like after the game. Or
Yeah,
like during-
it was right after you guys.
Oh
I think you
yeah, I
won.
do remember the fireworks.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it was for us
No,
winning,
it was-
but
yeah, I
think
it
it was
was
for us.
Let's say it was.
Yeah,
It was.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
My question for you guys is, how did you guys become so close? I mean, you have a lot of foreign guys on the team. You got Kava and then a lot of others. How do you make a strong bond with them and just to be a whole team?
I feel like just the sport, soccer, it brings everyone together. It doesn't matter where you're from. And I mean, like the core of our team, most of us are from around here, and we basically all knew each other through MLS Next. So it's like pretty easy, just like when these guys come in from like different countries, just to include them and stuff, make jokes,
Yeah.
music.
Even like the
Music, too.
age gap too. Like even though there's some guys older, some guys younger,
Yeah, like Chris.
we've all played close to each other and just vibes every day. Like you're with these guys more than you're with your family at this point. So
Yeah.
it's just after a while, they become your family as well, and you just hang out. You guys talk after practice, in practice. You just have a good time with each other.
Yeah.
Let's talk watching soccer. You guys, obviously, I know you're a big Arsenal fan.
Huge.
You told me Manchester United.
Yeah.
So how did that come about, and where did you guys begin following the teams?
I liked Arsenal because of Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, but my favorite player, Mesut Ozil, one of the GOATs.
Classic.
And then Granit Xhaka, obviously,
Oh, of
Albanian
course,
player.
Albanian, yeah.
Gotta like Arsenal. A lot of Albanians like Arsenal.
For me, Man U, I'm Portuguese actually. So
Oh, I
once
did know
Ronaldo
that,
went,
yes.
I was just supporting them since then. And then obviously Bruno now, he's there, captain. It's my team now. So
Who do you guys think that you model your games off of the most? If you could give me one player.
Paul Pogba.
That's a pretty good
Paul
comparison.
Pogba. My
I
goat.
like that.
It's my goat.
I like that.
I'll probably say Marcelo maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite left
Real
backs.
Madrid pull.
Yeah.
I like that.
Arion, you had an injury that was
Yeah.
pretty substantial
Yeah.
that basically negated an entire season.
Yeah.
When you came back from that, I assume you're fully healthy now, and you
Yeah.
were pretty healthy during the regular season.
Mhm.
What was that kind of realization that, you know what, I'm going to train and this season's going to be voided, but I'll be able to be as healthy I can be?
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was my second time tearing my ACL. Yeah, I mean the first time, it was when I was at PDA. My foot just got caught in the turf, and then I got body to the ground, and like my knee just obviously the ligament just tore, and then that was during COVID, and then literally the first week of preseason, 2023, the same thing basically happened, and then obviously we did like you can still see, might be able to see the scars. You
Maybe
can
we
see
can
right.
get a
Yeah.
zoom
A
here.
zoom in on the scar,
Let's
maybe
see,
if we
cam
can.
3.
Right here.
Think
Right
we-
here.
Hold on. We got it. All right. And there we go.
You can see right there.
Yeah, we see it.
Right
Ooh.
there.
Okay.
Crazy. Big scars. Anyways, this time we did a a different surgery because the first time when I was doing the surgery, like I had to take the graft for my new ACL from my hamstring because if I took it from the patellar, back then I wouldn't have grown.
Growth plate.
It would have messed up my growing. So, but now, obviously, I feel way better with this.
That is
this new
great.
patellar.
That is very impressive.
Thank you, but yeah, obviously coming back was really hard. They made me sit out for a year from playing games, so I was just locked in at physical therapy all the time, getting my body back in shape. And even now, I still don't feel like how I was back then. I'm still like kind of recovering from that, but I feel like after this summer, next fall, I'll be like 100% again.
But it must have been a pretty difficult way to start your career.
Yeah, well, the worst way to start your college career. But at the end of the day, I got the medical red shirt, and I still have 3 years after this.
And you backed up your performance in year one. True year one.
Thank you. Yeah.
My last question for you guys is talk to us about the fan support because I feel like freshman year we won the MAAC. Obviously, you guys weren't here for that. No one really came to those games that season, and after they won the MAAC, I think the attendance has gone up and up and up. And to give you guys credit, it's a lot of your hard work. Mm-hmm. What has it been like to see so many people come out and support you guys and just be there for all your games?
Tell the fans.
Yeah, what's your message for the fans?
It means the world. Obviously, playing in front of everybody, and the more fans, the better. It makes us have more energy throughout the games, even the hard times. Helps us out a lot. So yeah.
For the fans, when I see you guys out there, it's like my World Cup final. That's all I got to say.
We really have some great rowdy fans at these soccer games, especially earlier in the season when parents are still kind of around. Mm-hmm. You get these there's an offside call and someone goes absolutely nuts. We said it. We see it in lacrosse. Yeah. We see it in soccer. We see it obviously in football. But there's something about the tennis stadium. It's pretty small, but it's you could hear everything.
Yeah, I used to have a microphone and I got taken away freshman year. That was a fun
season.
The
NCAA prohibits external sounds.
I did find that out after it was
you should know that from
taken by Darren. Yeah.
when you watch film back and you see something that went either awry or something that you're very proud of, are you just remembering that, or are you trying to work through that? Are you trying to say I can be better or replicate it, especially when it's towards the end of the season? Is there something that you always try and improve on?
Yeah, we do a lot of film, and obviously the number one thing is how can you improve, like day in and day out. You see obviously something you do good. How can I do it again? Something bad. What steps are you going to take to fix it for the next time so you don't repeat it again?
Yeah, and even for film, like when we watch it, win or loss, especially during a win, you want to see what you've done good, and obviously you want to build from that, create confidence from it, but you have to watch what you've done bad, and that's what we do a lot as well, because we know the bad moments. If we create those to be good, our team would be going endless opportunities away.
You mentioned this is going to be released next Wednesday, but you mentioned you're not just soccer fans, you're also NBA fans, right?
Huge NBA fans.
What's going on in the NBA right now?
Is it Knicks in 6 or is it Pistons in 7? That's my question.
It's Knicks in 6 and
that's Knicks versus Pistons.
Knicks versus Pistons. And Mikal Bridges, all those picks we gave up for you. You can't hit a three.
Hey,
really?
He hit a very clutch shot yesterday. Probably the clutchest shot in his career.
Still lost, though.
Yeah. Still didn't get the job done.
I don't care how clutch he is. If we lose to the Pistons at home, really.
How long have you been Knicks fans?
I'm a Nets fan, so I'm out of this
Let me rephrase that. How long have you been a Knicks fan?
Really long time. Since Carmelo Anthony and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
You've been going to a lot of games pretty recently.
It's true. I like to go crazy with the Knicks fans after a win.
Yeah, I've seen you on TikTok in the streets with all those Knicks fans.
It's true.
And Brooklyn or New Jersey or whatever you want to call it.
I'm kind of out of this conversation, but my favorite player is LeBron. He's kind of in a tricky situation right now, down against Ant, but it's going to be tricky to come back.
That series is over.
Might be over for him.
You guys watch games together?
Yeah, we all usually just come to my house. We have a nice TV. Everyone just watches it, goes crazy.
And this guy?
I've been there a few times.
Couple appearances.
Yeah, here and there.
Some cameo
appearances. I dabble.
So 76ers are in Cancun, though.
All right, well, all I want to say is once we have Cooper Flag, then no one's going to be talking anymore. So
I think he's going to He might go to the Wizards, probably.
I'm praying.
In a world where there's so much competition and so much I would say, negative camaraderie. I feel like when you guys, and this goes for every athlete group at this school, when you guys are together, you guys have serious, like, enjoyable times, right?
Yeah, of course. Those are, like, honestly the moments that create the team and make us come closer as a family, like watching the games together, hanging out during the weekends, and just doing all these types of fun stuff is what brings us really together, not what's on the field. On the field, straight business, but when we're together, we create a bond, and, yeah, we just have fun.
Yeah, I feel like when I graduate, I'm not really going to, like, remember, like, what happened in the games, but you're going to, like, miss the times you shared with, like, your family and brothers, whether it was trips, the locker room, watching NBA.
It's little things.
Little things, it's true.
As we head into the off season, you guys are the first sport that restarts when we get back to school in the summer or the late summer. What's your message to the Poughkeepsie faithful to come to these games?
You guys come out, we'll win games, go crazy.
That's a great message.
That's it. We'll go crazy. You guys go crazy. I like it when the fans get crazy and then the whole stadium erupts. We'll score goals. We'll celebrate the goals too.
We have a couple good home games coming up.
Yeah.
Like Army, I believe, Lehigh. We need you guys there, being behind us, and let's get a win.
Ep.8 at home is going to be crazy,
Yeah,
so
for
bring
sure.
your friends. Anyone else you want to bring?
Your dogs, your family.
Yeah.
Bring whoever you want, and thank you for bringing yourselves to the student section
Thank
couch.
you.
It
Thank
was
you
an
very much.
absolute pleasure.
Yes.
Men's soccer finally joins the show. Their season will ramp back up in the late summer here at Tenny Stadium. Ty, a senior, we will miss you dearly.
I'm going to miss it. This is a great experience, and I love being part of this.
Goat.
Congratulations on a very good season, and we look forward to
Thank
more
you so
from
much.
you.
Thank you.
But right now, we have a little more senior festivities with Aiden Asks Senior Edition. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Will. That was a fantastic conversation with the men's soccer team. Excited to see what they're doing in the years to come. But for all of us on this panel, we will not be on campus to watch Marist men's soccer next year. We are all seniors going to be graduating in May. It's an exciting, nerve-wracking, plenty of adjectives to throw around about the upcoming few weeks. And I think we could start even with men's soccer, because the question we have this week is, out of the 4 years that we all have been here, what have been the most memorable experiences for you guys?
Yeah, I'll kick it off right there. Like you said, the very first semester we were here, obviously soccer, one of those sports that kicks off early, starts in the summer. The men's soccer team put on a phenomenal season, hosted the MAAC tournament, so it was at Tenny Stadium. Freshman year came in only, a month and a half into the year. They're in the championship game. Definitely one of the best moments to kick it off right away. I was at that game in the stands. Penalty kicks, walk-off win right there. For those who were in the crowd, got to kind of storm the field a little bit. So that moment off the rip definitely sits at one of the top. Got to come right in and see a MAAC championship right at the beginning.
I'll go a different path. I was one of the few people that went to Notre Dame versus Marist in South Bend, Indiana. That to me was like one of the biggest moments of my Marist career. My dad went to Notre Dame, so it was kind of like a special moment for me. Being able to go around campus with some of my best friends there and just kind of call a game there, but also just kind of feel the college atmosphere of a Division I team in the ACC and just a historic program overall. So I would say that is probably the biggest moment for me, being able to go to South Bend.
That game was an absolute thriller.
Yeah,
as well.
it was basically down to the wire. You thought Marist was going to win, ended up coming up short, but just a fantastic game and a fantastic experience.
Yeah, what a way to compete with an ACC squad.
I would say for me, probably my most memorable memory here is when I was on the swim team, and last year we won the MAAC championship. So that was pretty cool. It was our first win in like 16 years. I was born in 2002, so I think I was like 5 or 6 when the last time they won. So it was pretty cool to be a part of that. But yeah, that was probably it for me. That was just such a surreal experience, jumping in the pool with everyone and, holding that trophy, and then the ring ceremony here and everything else that came along with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to beat that being on a team.
Yeah.
Lock up a championship.
Definitely.
I don't know about you, but I'm certainly not an athlete. That's for sure.
No, neither am I. But
Well, Derek, you won a few wiffle ball intramural games. Is that,
Right.
is
Yeah,
that
but I
accurate?
usually
Counts.
was the bench warmer.
Oh,
Or
that
didn't
totally
show up
counts.
for other
The
reasons.
coach.
The coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
you wore
yeah.
blazers every now and again.
Yeah, I try once in a while.
And then what do you have over
So
there?
for me, I'd say following the men's basketball team, there's just been kind of like a lot of turnover with the rosters. I remember as a freshman, Ricardo Wright and Jao Ituka were here, and like those players were really, really fun to watch. We ended up losing them literally the next year, but then we had Patrick Gardner come around. He literally like lit up Marist, averaged like 20 plus points, brought us all the way into consideration for winning a MAAC championship, but ultimately we fell short, but still was really exciting. And then seeing Max Allen last year, and
Dancing Bear.
that was pretty fun. But yeah, just seeing the basketball team as a whole kind of progress. They've kind of had their bumps and bruises, but they've always been fun to watch. And I'll leave it like that Siena game that I was at this year. I mean, everyone was rowdy. Student section was barking.
The student section.
Swim team
Yep.
were shirtless, which we loved.
Showed up in their speedos.
In the
Shout out
speedos
swim
and
team.
parkas. So yeah, that was probably saving the best moment for last. I'd say that Siena game, I had a blast at.
Yeah, another really big year for basketball. And as you mentioned, I feel like every single year, whatever the outcome was for Marist, there was always kind of that one standout player, and that's what really kind of just gave juice to all the fans. You mentioned the Pat Gardner. I remember that sophomore year, MAAC championships are on. He made such an incredible run. Marist made the run to the championship, an underseeded squad as well. And I remember we were at home, it was spring break, and I was telling all my family, I was like, tune in. I'm like, this guy's dirt.
This guy's going to the league.
Watch him play. And then he would absolutely ball out, scoring like close to 30 in some of those games. And I'm talking up to my dad and my brother, like, look at this guy. This guy goes to my school. Come on.
20 points per game is crazy for like a Marist athlete, and he was averaging close to those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
It was at Long Island.
He was
G League team?
just
Yep.
in the
That's-
G League championship with the Magic.
Yep,
or
over
the
on the
Magic
Magics
G League.
now.
Now on the Magic. So yeah, he's doing good
Osceola,
things
how do
for
you
himself.
pronounce that? It's got a weird town name I can't pronounce. It's like Osceola or something like that. But either way, I think to your point, the progression of the majority of the teams on campus, I think, has been something that we all experienced. Because I think when we got here, like, sports were, at least from my perspective, it seemed like they were, a thing, but it wasn't a big thing. And I think it's continued to grow as we've gone through our 4 years here. And I think for everyone who's still here afterwards and is invested in sports, I think they're going to be able to find a bunch of programs that are successful and, fun to watch, rather than when we first got here, a lot of the teams I don't think were as competitive as they are now, and it's a testament to the growth of now a university. And when we were here, it was originally a college, so it speaks to the growth. And I'm curious what you guys think, or what you guys foresee for the future when we leave. What's to come for Marist sports in the next few years?
Kind of just going off what you were saying, like we've totally seen a change in everything Marist athletics related, between like the social media that they're putting out and like the way that they're like treating their athletes too. They have dietitians now.
Right.
They have like people in the weight room with them, helping them out. Like they just have the necessary tools that they need to like succeed. And I feel like that's just going to keep progressing as time goes on. I mean, we're only seeing like 1-2 years of it, but it's just going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the programs in general you mentioned, just it's kind of the full force effect where treating the athletes better. There's a lot. One field's under construction, finally getting a track for the track athletes, stuff like that. I feel like a lot of the programs are on the up and up. You've seen kind of a spark in a lot of them, and hopefully just continue to build on that. Some coaching turnover and new guys leading the way for football. Even there's some women's soccer, young coach, lacrosse, just new coach come in. So a lot of things to be excited for and to keep up on, even when we're not on campus.
I think it's also student involvement, too. I think you talked about it earlier, freshman year, it seemed like sports weren't a big precedent. I feel like now, especially with the sports comm department kind of evolving, too, and giving students more opportunities to help out in athletics, has even enhanced that to another level where it wasn't like that 3 years ago. It wasn't like that. So
During-
I think
during
just
the
having those is huge.
During the regular season of basketball this year, like they were pretty good. And, like the school knew that they were good, and it was like cool to go to a basketball
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
Like people
Yeah.
would go on like a Friday, Saturday night. It was like cool to go.
That's like the
It's
biggest,
never been
the
cool.
biggest difference I'd say from freshman to like my senior year is just the people attending and like not complaining at the games, like having a good time, you
Yeah.
know, enjoying the games, watching the product on the court or on the field. And I think like Marist has a lot to look forward to that. I mean, the facilities have been getting like upgrades sort of. Like you mentioned, they're bringing in sort of modernizing their athletic department, which, you know, when recruits see that, they'll appreciate that and want to come here. So hopefully, you know, as we watch from afar, Marist Athletics just continues to get better and better. I can't wait
sure.
for that too.
And press row, just press row. Freshman year, it was not bare, but there was not that many people. Now you look at press row, it's almost packed for all men's games, for home games. Women's games, depending on the game, it can get a little crowded. But especially just being on the floor for a men's game, there's not a lot of room to take photos now. Freshman year, you'd see maybe 3 people be taking photos. So you just see that entire involvement.
Yeah.
Also, like a lot of like the local youth have like been coming to the
Yeah, that
Marist
too.
games lately. Like I don't really remember like watching Zhao and Ricardo sign autographs after a game, but I mean, and Collins Roberts and Pasquarelli were doing that quite often after the game. So I think that like promoting the product to the youth, especially around the area, is certainly huge for Marist.
100%, yeah. And back to your point, Derek, just the involvement of the sports comm building. This will be my last time hosting, and I'll have plenty more to say as Tommy and I switch spots. But I just want to, I think, on behalf of all of us, thank the sports comm program, the people who were in charge, who are now in charge, and will continue to be in charge, especially Gary, our executive producer, for putting this together and believing in all of us.
A little ripple for Gary.
And that obviously there's a lot of new things that are available and resources available for people who want to get involved with sports comm. And I don't think, at least for me, and I'm sure all of you could say the same, that I foresaw, you know, I wanted to be involved in sports communication, but the amount of involvement I was able to get into because of Marist, I didn't foresee when I first got here, and it's been fantastic since then. And another shout out to our junior in the back there on the switcher. He doesn't get on TV very often, but he does a great job. Gene Barbieri.
Yeah, Gene.
He's got a bright future ahead of him, and he does all the things that people don't see. So thank you to Gene for that. And then William, obviously, he's going to go places. I think we're all pretty aware of that. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to us. And this has been a fantastic final year.
Absolutely. Good luck to the Student Section podcast in the future.
And with that,
Can't wait to watch.
Tommy and I are going to, with the magic of editing, switch seats. Thank you.
Quick switch in host, but we're back in action. It's still senior day here, and we got a fresh panel of seniors. Aiden, obviously, you hosted last segment. Thanks for the segue into it. We'll get to hear from him, along with Ty, another Aiden, and Matt. So, guys, it's proposing a lot of the same things, different perspectives, and we've all had different experiences a little bit, but still focusing on sports throughout our last 4 years. We're looking at some of the best moments that you guys have got to be a part of, either as spectators, behind the scenes, whatever it is, some of the best ones from the last 4 years.
Well, there is a lot to choose from, but for me, coming off the soccer episode, we'll just go with the MAAC championship freshman year. That was an incredible experience. For me, I lived next to 2 of the guys, Andre Cutler and Johanse Douglas, freshman year, and they kind of had me start going to the games, and I got to watch all of it come to fruition, and it was an incredible experience to see them win it, and being at that game was probably one of the highlights of my time here at Marist.
Especially having personal involvement for you.
100%, yeah.
Even more,
That's
special.
Now I live with all the soccer guys too. I mean that passion I have for the team started with them winning the MAAC championship. It was an incredible experience.
And they went to support you, I believe, when you had your
for my intramural. I'm actually in the playoffs tonight for
There you
this
go.
season.
There
So
you go.
looking forward to that. 11 p.m.
More big championships to come.
Aiden, what do you got?
You know, I think like Matt as well, you can relate to this. Matt and I went to middle school, high school together. We were both from around this area, grew up kind of watching Marist sports, paying attention to it. I guess watching the transition throughout my 4 years with the basketball team, the men's basketball team especially, like we talked about, getting a lot of those players, unfortunately, they end up transferring to better schools when they play well. But it's still really cool to watch all those players grow and turn out like Pat Gardner, how we just saw, balling out in the African League right now, as well as the G League. So watching the men's basketball team progress was really cool to see over the 4 years.
Yeah, and just like from a spectator's point of view, like the game against Siena this year was it was unbelievable. And we grew up in the area. Like I've never seen a game like that. As loud as it was actually unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the ESPN Plus broadcast kind of helped bring a lot of fans to come in, made it a little more exciting. But when you have a sold-out arena in McCann and it gets loud, it's a very fun atmosphere to be in and be a part of.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what makes it even sweeter. A couple of local guys that grew up around the area. Ty, you lived next to the soccer guys, obviously a deeper connection there. My sophomore year when the lacrosse team won it, I was neighbors to them as well. So although they weren't playing at Marist, it's just so fun to like see the energy that they have going throughout the playoffs. Aiden, I know you yourself, beat writer for center field. You're behind the scenes a lot in the production room, so got to be a lot of hands-on action for you in a couple of these games.
Yeah, like I had mentioned at the end of our little spiel, I think it was awesome just being able to experience different aspects of what sports media is through Marist. Being able to cover the softball team, who have had a lot of success, has been very fun, and building relationships with both players and coaches on that team has been cool. I think being in the studio, even for like water polo, I think for whatever reason that sticks out to me, just because I remember we had one goal where this girl like shot it behind her back, and it ended up being on SportsCenter Top 10, and I was like, oh my God, that was me doing the camera work, or I was doing the replay and they showed it. Same thing happened with lacrosse a few times. So just different things like that. Like you don't expect that to happen, and then for it to happen a bunch of different times during these 4 years has been great. Recency bias, I would say Siena game was awesome. Yeah. I think not only is it cool for obviously our sports teams to be successful, but it feels like there's camaraderie through sports within the whole Marist community, because there's a bunch of people there who maybe you don't see every day, but they're all cheering on the same team, and obviously sports can do that. I think that's a big reason why we're all into sports. But yeah, I want to thank Jack and Nick and Ryan, all those guys who are back there, for the ESPN Plus games, letting me do the things that I was able to do. And for me, like, I still am technically playing a sport with club baseball, and
it's a big time for that as well.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I'm happy that I've been able to lead my guys, and they were even able to make an appearance on this podcast last year. We have a regional tournament on Friday, and hoping to win the national tournament. So, yeah, I mean, that's been a lot of fun too, and the athletics department being kind enough to let us use their facilities has been great.
So everybody make sure you're staying locked in and tuned into that.
That's
a lot
right.
of exciting things still going on before our
intramurals,
senior year.
club sports.
Some spring sports still going through the way. Lacrosse in their playoffs, softball having a historic year.
Parker.
Track still moving on in the spring. So as Aiden hinted, a lot of us, the great thing about as Marist sports evolves, so has the Marist coverage, the media, and through classes or through just behind-the-scenes production. A lot of us have got to be upfront and personal in a few of these games. So just want you guys to talk a little bit about those experiences. Aiden, I know you have taken a lot of fantastic pictures, especially at some of the indoor games. So what are those moments like during these games?
Yeah, honestly, like, shout out to Professor Chris Riviezzo. He's awesome. Also, Professor Jeffrey Basinger, for photography professor. Photography's like been a passion of mine since I was in high school. Been doing it since I was 14 years old. But I always knew that coming to Marist, I wanted to be a part of the sports comm program, be behind the broadcast, and being able to like take pictures at some of those basketball games. That was a really cool opportunity, and it's something that I'll always remember, and it's a really good experience builder. So having not only that, but some of the opportunities from Chris Riviezzo's class, being able to work some of those broadcasts behind the camera, like doing that's a really cool experience that you don't really get at a lot of other schools. So it's a great thing to have here at Marist.
Yeah, I was a transfer student. I won't say where my last school was because I don't want to put them in a bad light here. But they kind of promised me, like, this is the best sports comm program that we have in the country, yada, yada, yada. I was there for basically a semester, and I was like, yeah, I'm done here. So then I came here. I was kind of unsure if I wanted to keep doing sports comm. And then just going around, seeing the professors, starting off my sports comm classes, I realized how good of a program this was and how many opportunities it's kind of just unlocked for me within the past 3 years here. So I couldn't be more thankful to Marist.
Yeah, for me, I mean, the highlight of my time working with behind-the-scenes stuff was when I got to go to the MAAC tournament in Atlantic City this semester. It was an incredible experience. I got to have my favorite Uber, Will Rosen, drive us around, and with Derek and Gene, and it was an amazing opportunity to get some behind-the-scenes stuff. We got a lot of cool shots there for the student section as well. We had a few episodes that worked really well. But all in all, it was just an incredible experience just to head down there with the guys in the sports comm department and just learn so much about all these different fields. I got to interview players that are, in the MAAC are super, super successful and are now entering the portal and going to big schools. And, I mean, Mount played Duke first round, and I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, I just interviewed that guy like a week ago at the Atlantic City tournament. So it was just an incredible experience, and we're all super fortunate to get these opportunities. And the biggest thing is just, capitalizing and making sure you take advantage of all these opportunities, like everyone on the student section here and with Red Fox Support Center Field. There's so many opportunities at Marist, and I'm super happy that I got the opportunity to try all of these different things.
Yeah, I would say traveling in Iona, I think my sophomore year, Tobin Anderson was the coach at that time. Rest in peace, Tobin Anderson. He didn't die, but he,
from his position,
he got canned, which was interesting. And I think it's a testament to the MAAC, the growth of the MAAC. Like, they hired a guy who worked for or was an assistant coach for the Cavs. Marist, I'm going to assume, is going to have to do things like that if they want to continue competing, which will be fun to watch from afar. And, being able to see Tobin Anderson. And that was the rematch of the championship the year prior. So going to Iona and traveling, it was like, okay, I'm really, really doing this, immersing myself in the whole thing. And I think it was awesome. So it was a great experience. And, Tommy, I want to shout out you because you're going to have a lot of experiences to come at Syracuse.
Oh, yeah.
Go Orange with good old Brandon Ross. What do you think about that, just the upcoming program that you have?
I'm excited. I'm excited to get right to it, learn a lot of experiences, have firsthand experience, just continue to build my portfolio and build my skills. Excited for what's to come, but as for Marist here as well, the sports continue to progress. We've seen the media coverage that we've done. Same thing in the sports comm department. We've had a lot of people to thank, so I'm not going to go over it again. Aiden has shouted out when he was host. We shouted out professors and everything like that. I'll just say on behalf of all the seniors, we can't say thank you enough to all the people that have helped us along the way, but there's still more to come, and we know we're going to leave this place in good hands as well. And one of those people is William Rosen, who's going to give a teaser of what's to expect.
Thank you, Tommy. And that concludes this week's episode. Next week, a very special presentation of the student section where myself, Tommy, and Derek break down the 2024-2025 Marist sports year straight from Studio C. Here, now, a look at the students behind the scenes at the student section who helped make this a very enjoyable and very successful semester.